Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then we are going to they will have a home run derby, and whoever wins the home run derby is the one that would win. That's pretty much it. We're going to put them against each other. We are going to decide who would win if they faced off in a real fight. So on that note, contestant number 1 is Amygdala. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. From Bloodborne. They're creepy. They're very, very creepy. It's very interesting. Spoilers ahead, I'm sorry. But when you get to that point in the game where you can actually see what's going on, and they're all over the buildings, these giant spider-like creatures. Definitely very creepy and a very formidable boss. A welcome debut on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Alright, let us take this wheel for another spin. We are going to be determining the opponent for the Amygdala. I feel bad for them, whoever it is. I feel bad for whoever's facing the Amygdala. Alright. We are determining the opponent for the Amygdala, and it is Ornstein and Smough. The very famous duo from Dark Souls 1. Oh my goodness. What is with these matches we're getting lately? That's good shit right there. Damn. Oh man. Ooh. That's a good fight. I think I have my opinion of who would win, but you know me, I gotta adhere to the contract. I gotta do the bio. So let us have a look at the Amygdala. The Amygdala are considered great ones in the world of Bloodborne. And I suppose if I lived in a world where there were giant invisible creatures that could be lurking about anywhere, and they had many dozens of eyes and all these legs that had hands on the ends of them, I would probably call them great too, lest they get a hold of me and crush my body like a bug. You can tell how great they are considered because there are statues of them virtually, well, I don't want to say everywhere, but in the Cathedral Ward and in Yorgul Unseen Village, statues of them are visible. They're revered. Once again, I can't blame them. Patches the Spider is apparently the most devoted to the Amygdala, and he is usually making sacrifices to them in the name of his god. Through the use of the Tonsil Stone, he is luring people over there into the Nightmare Frontier for the Amygdala. So that's generally Patch's devotion to them. That's what he does. Although when you kill him, Patches really doesn't seem to give a shit. So that gives you insight. No pun intended. Insight into Patch's loyalty, which, you know, spans across all SoulsBorne games. That's basically how loyal he is. Yeah, he's loyal to you until he's not. So, tells you all you need to know about Patches. There's really not much more on the Amygdala. One of them finds their way into the Nightmare Frontier in an area called Amygdala's Chamber, which not sure how that name came about, but that's basically where you fight in Amygdala. And like I said, they are creatures with multiple eyes and multiple legs / arms. They do a lot of sweeping attacks. They're a very tough enemy, and certainly not a creature I would want to mess with. The fabled duo of Ornstein and Smough, their story begins at the city of Adar Londo, the city of the gods in Dark Souls. Ornstein was a knight in the service of the Lord of Sunlight, and he took part in the war against the dragons. And after his lord won the war, exterminating the dragons. And on that note, I really think they need to look up the definition of exterminate, because taking the definition of the word and then playing the games, you will find dragons all over the goddamn place. So they maybe need to use a different word for that. But Ornstein was awarded with a fragment of Lord Gwyn's soul, which I think I would have rather taken gold. Ornstein would also become the first knight of Gwyn's firstborn son, who I believe is rumored to be the Nameless King. That's speculation on my part, but I think that's the way it works out. After Gwyn linked the First Flame, and his firstborn son was dethroned and exiled and just basically thrown out on his ass, all of the gods that made their home in Anor Londo would just basically say fuck this shit, and they'd leave. Ornstein stayed behind with Smaug to basically defend Guinevere. They were the last line of defense before anyone could get to Guinevere. And Lord knows I wouldn't mind protecting that. Smaug, on the other hand, was the royal executioner for Anor Londo. He has a giant hammer and grotesque armor. He is certainly a force to be reckoned with. He wanted to be one of Gwyn's knights, but he was rejected, even though he had immense power. And I personally think it has to do with his weight. And if that's the case, I think Smaug should either sue or just annihilate them off the face of the map. Although, to be fair, Smaug may have a little something, a screw loose in his head. He really enjoyed his executioner work, and apparently he ground the bones of those he killed into his feed so he could absorb them. And his hammer restores health to him because of its use, I guess. I don't know how that works, but, you know, whatever. So yeah, once again, after Gwyn links the First Flame and his firstborn son is gotten rid of, Ornstein and Smaug stay back in the cathedral to guard Guinevere. And they are a formidable duo for a reason. A lot of times in Dark Souls, you're dealing with one boss, one very powerful boss. Now, here, you're dealing with two of them. And, well, spoiler alert, if you beat one, then it absorbs into the other one, and then they become this super powered, you know, boss, whatever. So, yeah, Ornstein and Smaug are famous for a reason, and it is well deserved. They are very, very tough. That's why most people remember them, but they are still beloved in the world of Dark Souls by their fans. So, yeah, I'm happy to see them in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. On the surface, people may or may not look at this and be like, oh, Ornstein and Smaug, they have to win this, you know. And I don't entirely disagree with you, but I think if you look a little bit closer, the amygdala is a giant creature with, as I said before, multiple times, many legs / arms, and there are hands at the end of the legs. So this is a creature that I think could probably handle the onslaught of Ornstein and Smaug. Yeah, I just think it has the tools to do so. That being said, I still think Ornstein and Smaug walk away with the win. I think they're both too powerful, and I think if, you know, the situation I keep envisioning is the amygdala tied up with Ornstein, and then Smaug with his giant hammer just pounding away. So it's a tough fight to call for sure. It is definitely a tough fight to call, and I think there's many, many variables in this one. But I can't see a situation where Ornstein and Smaug don't walk away with it. I just can't. But that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, I am going to bring this episode of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com if you're interested in my books. The Rise of Dragons podcast if you are interested in hearing more about them. My link tree is Bobby's World 2110. My Instagram and Twitter is Bobby's World 2110. The Sekiro No Healing Gourd run is still ongoing. I just had an episode where I had to fight the Guardian Ape, win or bust. So that was a fun episode. And then you can bring it right back here for another episode of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death next week. So until then, be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. I'll see you for live, y'all. Bye. What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out the video today, but I got a question for you. Did you know I wrote a book? Did you know I wrote 3 books? Did you know that they're all part of the same series? The Roar of a Dragon, The Treachery of a Weasel, and The Cry of a Raven. ReadersFavorite.com says that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. Now, I personally think that's crazy, but it's not for me to judge. It's for you to judge. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com and you can check out the books right now. But wait, that's not all. All 3 books got 5-star reviews in ReadersFavorite.com. These books won the silver medal in the Literary Titan Awards. The Cry of a Raven won silver at the Global eBook Awards. So what are you waiting for? Read about Aiden's dream to become a Knight of Delmar. Read about his death and resurrection. Oops, I gave that away, didn't I? And read about his journey back home from 3,000 years in the future to stop the evil that started in Delmar. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And then, if you're interested, you can buy the books there as well. And if you've already read the books or you just want to hear more about them, you can check out the Rise of Dragons podcast. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And in every episode, I cover a character from the book, an event from the book, my journey into writing, and everything in between. Ripley, what do you got to say about all this?
Give me a treat or I will end you.
You know she's telling you to check out the books. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com to check out the books or listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast if you want to hear about them. That's all I got to say, and thank you for watching this video.